The beautiful White Mountains in New Hampshire have drawn in a lot of hikers, but they also have a hidden danger that can quickly turn a trip into a fight for your life. Today, we're going to talk about the sad story of Guopeng Lee, a brave climber who set out to conquer the White Mountains. He went to the woods, but never came back. What happened to make this hiker mysteriously disappear? Guopeng's absence is interesting because it shows who he was as a person and as a hiker. Let's find out what happened before and after his strange disappearance. So, Guopeng Lee, a 28-year-old Chinese-American software professional living in Boston, stood at the center of our story. Born in China in 1994, he was raised amidst mountains, camping with his family and friends. In 2012, he set foot in the United States to study at the University of Massachusetts, where he joined an active hiking club. After completing his studies, he settled in Boston and began working as a software engineer at a tech firm. Despite his demanding job, he persisted in pursuing his passion for hiking and camping during his free hours. On December 24, 2022, Lee chose to explore the White Mountains of New Hampshire. The Falling Water Loop Trail and Old Bridle Path had been his companions on his previous hikes, but this time he embarked on a journey along Franconia Ridge, a majestic mountain range that had beckoned adventurers for centuries. Clad in warm clothing and equipped with essential supplies, a map, and a GPS device, Lee felt prepared for his trek. Having hiked on this path before, he thought he had anticipated its challenges. Even though Christmas Day greeted him with cold and damp conditions, his resolve to conquer the trail remained stronger than ever. At 11 a.m., Lee embarked on his long expedition. Despite being alone, his cousin in China was able to track his progress through GPS coordinates. Lee's plan was simple: tackle the 8.6-mile Franconia Loop, a favorite among hikers. His route involved beginning with the Franconia Ridge Trail, heading south for approximately a mile until reaching Little Haystack Mountain, then descending via the Fallwaters Trail to return to the starting point. This well-trodden trail saw around 1,000 walkers daily during the summer, according to the Appalachian Mountain Club. Setting off from Lafayette campgrounds on Route 3, Lee covered 2.9 miles along the Old Bridle Path, a route once frequented by horse riders. This path led him to Greenleaf Hut, a mountain hut maintained by the Appalachian Mountain Club. However, like other huts, Greenleaf Hut remained closed during winter, offering no shelter. Lee had to ascend the steep and rocky Greenleaf Trail from the hut. This 1.1-mile trail led straight to the summit of Mount Lafayette, primarily above the tree line, leaving Lee exposed to the fierce winds and harsh weather that earned the White Mountains their treacherous reputation. After conquering Mount Lafayette, Lee's plan involved heading south along the Franconia Ridge Trail, a journey spanning over 5 miles. For most of this route, he was above the tree line, offering breathtaking vistas. The initial hours of his trek were smooth, but as the day progressed, the temperature dropped and snowfall intensified. Starting his journey at 11 a.m. meant he had fewer than 5 hours of daylight, whereas the typical completion time for this chosen loop was around 8 hours in summer. Lee managed to ascend half of Franconia Ridge, but things took a different turn when he lost his way on Mount Lincoln. Furthermore, he underestimated the challenges of winter in the White Mountains. He had insufficient extra clothing, lighting, food, water, and winter gear to sustain himself in emergencies. Lieutenant James Nielsen shared that Lee was wearing sunglasses, but he lacked a reliable light source for the dark hours. Without light, finding trail markers in the dark is nearly impossible, stated the relief worker. A major concern is the increasing dependency on cell phones among hikers, especially in cold conditions. Phone batteries can drain rapidly, leaving individuals feeling helpless. Fish and Game Authority strongly recommend carrying a set of tried and true safety gear on winter hikes, including extra clothing layers, spare hat and gloves, fire starting material, and a map. Contemporary gear like a bivouac bag, hand warmers, and a flashlight prove invaluable in unforeseen situations or when straying from the intended path. Most importantly, hiking with a companion and being ready to turn back in adverse weather conditions are essential precautions. Meanwhile, Lee's family in China lost contact with him and noticed his absence. It became apparent that he had lost his way and was cut off from GPS and phone communication. On December 24, 2022, after 9 p.m., NH Fish and Game Conservation officers received a call reporting a hiker who hadn't returned from the 8.6-mile bridle path falling water loop. Responsible for safeguarding New Hampshire's wildlife, marine resources, and fish, these officers swiftly dispatched a team to the hazardous 5,000-foot terrain. Beginning his journey at 11 a.m., Lee's family informed the police at 6:15 p.m. that his phone had died, and he appeared to have strayed from the trail south of Mount Lincoln. Concerned for his safety due to his limited experience and unknown gear, his family's attempt to reach him were in vain, and his phone's battery died at 6:15 p.m. Recognizing the impending drop in temperature, authorities promptly launched a search for the missing hiker. As temperatures plunged below freezing, police were dispatched to locate Lee. By 2 a.m. on Sunday, December 25, 2022, one team reached Franconia Ridge. During their search, they discovered puzzling tracks that could have belonged to Lee. Following this, the search party located tracks that they believed were definitely Lee's, leading off the main trail to a drainage area between Little Haystack Mountain and Mount Lincoln. At 6:45 a.m., some of them discovered Guapang Lee's lifeless body, approximately half a mile from the falling water trail in Franconia. The rescue team safely returned to the starting point at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, discontinuing the search once they located the tracks, which eventually led to a stream between Little Haystack Mountain and Mount Lincoln. Lee's family later discussed his lack of experience and unclarity about his gear. New Hampshire Fish and Game highlighted that this marked the second instance of discovering a deceased hiker within a month. On November 23rd, Emily Sotelo's body was located after a multi-day search. In both instances, individuals were ill-prepared for the winter conditions. Jordan emphasized that the same rescuers who aided Emily were also involved in the search for Lee. These are preventable tragedies, remarked Jordan, underscoring the significance of hiking with company and possessing the skills and gear to navigate such conditions. His demise served as a reminder to all mountaineers about safety while hiking and the importance of proper attire. Officials stressed the value of group hikers over solidarity expeditions. Often, when facing tough decisions alone, stress affects decision-making, they highlighted. Tragically, Lee's untimely death marked the 21st fatality accident in New Hampshire in 2022. Statistics indicate an annual average of around 22 deaths in the region. Lee's sudden passing left everyone stunned, deeply affecting his family and friends. They initiated a GoFundMe campaign to gather funds for a journey to the United States, allowing them to bid farewell to Lee and honor his memory. Their primary desire was to bid him a personal farewell and bring his ashes back to China, where his family and close friends established a GoFundMe page, showing their determination to fulfill Lee's long-standing aspirations. His dream had been for his parents and younger brother to visit him in the U.S., and now they were working on obtaining IDs and visas. One final meeting and returning with his ashes was their plan now. Described as a diligent, intelligent, compassionate individual with a generous heart, Lee's family recalls him fondly. His optimistic demeanor and concern for others endeared him to many. The tragic narrative of Guopeng Lee's Franconia Ridge expedition depicts an intrepid nature enthusiast whose life ended in the midst of his passion. The story underscores the hazards of winter camping and the formidable nature of the wilderness. For similar content, feel free to have a look at some of our other clips on your screen. We value your feedback, so please share your thoughts below. Until we meet again.